Yeah. Wouldn't that be? What I was doing there, I was just complaining how nothing was working here. I set this up at 7 a.m. Everything was working fine. And then as soon as I go to press live, it's like, it's not going live. Then my Stream Deck's not working. Stream Deck's just like a little thing where you can like change scenes. Is it still muted? I see Scotty Mo says muted. Let me know if it's still muted so I can just lose my mind here. Anyway, what I was going to do was, what I meant to do was check December 19th just to see what the price was December 19th. Let's see, December 19th, there we were. 88K. What is this? This was the last day. Friday, December 19th, yeah. 88K. So it moved. It moved. That's what she said. We're actually back up into our finding resistance at and into our old channel of ascension. Kind of peeked our heads here for a bit. Pop. See how this actually played out. We started it way back here. Tripping the light fandango on resistance. Bingo bango, bingo bongo, fell through it. And this was the Christmas bummer just sitting there. And then we're back above the 200 moving average, which is, it's bullish. And then we got the old 50 moving average here, if you can see it. Let's get this a little bit. There we go. You know, that's generally what some legacy analysts will call a bullish move. To me, I take the contrarian side on these death crosses and golden crosses. To me, they're like a kind of like a no shit Sherlock type thing. You know, we've had a little bit of an upswing, so we're going to, you know, to me, it's almost like the RSI, the relative strength index. When I see the 50 moving average going over the 200, it's like, yeah, we've been slightly stronger. Right. But is there anything to write home about? I think maybe like as we head into 2026, we will need a crisis. I think we got one, you know, with the Venezuela debacle. That's a crisis that will, you know, Bitcoin itself is like a Delta 9 financial asset. You know, it needs calamity in order for it to even feel alive. And we can see that in the price action, you know, when there's no real calamity, you know, when the stock market's at all-time high, commodities, gold and silver, all-time high, you know, Scotch on the Rocks, Booze Breath, Jerry Papos, ho-humming, you know, he's hawkish, he's dovish. It's just not enough calamity for the Bitcoin price to do anything. It's like, wake me up when there's turmoil somewhere, okay? And then I'll come to the party. So maybe the Venezuela thing was enough of a calamity to get Bitcoin's blood pumping. It's like, I like this. Am I recognizing maybe a currency debasement that's possibly going to happen down in Venezuela? Wait, is this a regime change? All right, let's get saddled up, boys. We're going in. And then we had a little bit of pump. It was a humble opinion of this piano. As soon as I saw that, yeah, e-money, Iran might be popping off too. Right, that's next. But that's part of that Pax Judaica. We'll leave that out as it were. That will complete the process. Colombia maybe too. Well, I mean, this is either how empires grow or die, you know, because every unremarkable retard will overplay its hand because they're not used to winning. Now, I do think to a certain degree, Donald Trump is used to winning, but we'll see. I don't really feel. I said to myself, you know, don't talk politics. No one cares what you think. They just care about the Bitcoin price. That's what I said to myself this morning. But it's hard because with Bitcoin needing a crisis, it relies on political kabuki theater in order for it to pump. So that's where we are. Now, if we open up bullish, which I kind of think we will, you know, with the calamity, I think with with the addition of all the oil, and they're all oil wars. They're all wars are oil wars. Well, why is the ticker not moving? Let's check this out. Maybe it's not moving because it's either trying to screw me on my big debut back in 2026. Let's see. Yeah, it was trying to screw me. It's like, excuse me, you forgot to refresh me. I'm not going to refresh myself. You have to refresh me. Another mistake. Yeah, so if we can see continued bullish prowess, this is what I would like to. Now, let's make no mistake. Let's find our first headwinds up here. First headwind would be, well, we're getting close to that bull market rejection zone. We're $6,000 away. It's like where is it? Oh no, this on the 4-hour chart looks like forever, but we're almost at where we should get our first resistance. Now, this is, kind of looking like a little cup and handle. If we were to sit here and kind of mince words today, shoosh, where would that take us? Well, you would take the poll. Oh, damn it. Undo. Not enough real estate here on the board here to make things function. Oh, we'll go right about here, maybe to here. Yeah, it's just wishy-washy. There's no science to this. It's not a science. And we get to 99.6, which would be, is this crooked? Which would right be at the resistance of our old channel of ascension, the one that we ditched. Now you can see how the math isn't really mathing here because we had a nice little channel of ascension. Now they'll all meet here at this confluential. Oh my God! It's also the bull market rejection zone too. That would be nice, but I'd like to blow past it. So we already have that up here. That's 98.3-ish. That would make sense. We have this bullish reaction in Q1, maybe Jan. Maybe we spend January pumping a bit, maybe. And then we can't get past 98. The BMRZ. That's right. I gotta maybe submit that to TradingView, the BMRZ. Maybe crypto quants will pick that up. I haven't seen it yet. No, maybe it's more like, is it akin to the 50 moving average on the weekly? Where's the FIDI? The FIDI's a little higher. Yeah. So, well, that would make sense. The 50 moving average on the weekly is at about a 101. So I could see, throwing a Hail Mary wick up to 101 on the daily or the 4-hour chart and then getting rejected from it. But speaking of the weekly, here we are. We have broken out of this bear flag, which is, the next stop is really the 38.2% fib, 98.3. That is the next stop. Now, if we were to do that this week, you got to remember, once upon a time, Bitcoin was quite volatile. It's a bygone era, but there was a time where this move from where we are now to the 38.2% fib, 5.5%. You're not going to believe this, but there was a time back in the day where Bitcoin could move 5.5% in a day. I know. It sounds crazy, but it's true. I remember days where Bitcoin moved 5.5%. I'm that old that I remember Bitcoin moving 5.5%. Now, can we move 5.5% in a week? Can we? You think it's possible? I think so. I mean, a day is crazy. Let's not get too crazy. 5.5% in a day. What are we, 2020, 2021 here? It's still possible, so 5.5% will get us to the bull market rejection zone, the BRMZ. Or is it BRMZ? Who says Z and Z? Is it Canadians that say Z or Z? Or Americans that say Z or Z? A, B, C, D, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Or is that just how the song goes? Because it wouldn't make sense. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. It's almost like the record scratching. Hold the door. So yeah, 5.5% up to the 38.2% fib, which is the BMRZ. USA says Z. E-Money says, okay. It appears my Stream Deck is not connected to my Ecamm, which means I can't do my close, Just hit the end button and it goes into make sure you like. I won't be able to do it as well oiled as this machine has been in the past with the Stream Deck. Should have checked it. I did check it. It did work. And then as soon as I went live, it's like, not today. Not today. You can see how this cup and handle pattern is also, it's a little more presented on the old ding dong, the daily chart. We have broken out of this channel of descension, which happens. It's a channel of descension. We break up, break bullish. And that's how she goes. Good morning, Sultan of Salt. The next stop here really is, I would say, well, it's a no man's land in this daily chart, really. But the next real marquee would be the BMRZ. I like that. I like that, Jimmy Coco. BMRZ, the bull market rejection zone. At 98.3. And you can see we'd still kind of be in a no man's land. Like, look at this. There it is. So there's some heavy congestion way back in, this is last year. This is January of last year where we hit this, originally the 98.3, and we bingo, bango, bongoed up and down for almost 2 months here till we finally broke out. I remember this was when all the ETFs started piling in. Oh my God, look at how much they're buying. And the price would go down. I was going to do like a 2026 predictions, but they were so bearish. I also said to myself, maybe you should be more bullish, on your YouTube channel. People just like to hear good news. That's it. I'm like, yeah, it's just not my style. Not my style. I think other people do it better. They can put on that Joker smile and just tell you lies. It's not my style. So 98.3 is the next move on this daily chart. Look at this. This is 5. Let's call it 6. God damn it. Let's call it 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So in the past 11 days, we've only had 2 red candles. That is pretty bullish. I mean, let's get real here. From the first green candle to now, it's 6.5%. See, I told you, we can do it. It takes 11 days, but we can do it. I do believe when we do move, we could see like a violent 5.5%. It's almost sad talking about a violent move up at 5.5%, isn't it? Because we've all been here long enough to know that 5.5% wouldn't even get out of bed, right? It's like, oh, did the price move? Yeah, only 5.5%. It's dead, right? Now that would actually you'd see all the Samson Maos and all the influencers coming out. The paid influencers. Remember, they're paid influencers coming out. We're so back. We're so back. So if we were to get past the BMRZ, bull market rejection zone, really the next is this channel of ascensions, up over 100K. Now, Treehouse Pancakes, I don't know I don't recognize Trios Pancakes. Did my other account get shadow banned in here? I don't know. There's no... We have mods in name, not in action. You know, we don't really... There's not a lot of calamity that goes on in these streams, so the mods don't really have to do anything. And I wouldn't think that... I don't know who you are, Trios Pancake. Unless you have unless that's your new name from an old name. Sometimes in the live stream on the piano bar, it gets a little dicey every now and then. And it's usually the creeps at the bar. You know, they're like, oh, I can get in here and start being a dick. You know, Winnipeggers love that. So yeah, on the daily, not much happening. It's sad to say, you know, after 2 weeks of sitting around doing nothing. It's not like my life changed that much in the 2 weeks. I just didn't live stream you say you can't leave a message, but I'm seeing your message. I'm not going to waste any time on this one though. Fear and greed index has creeped up. If there's one thing that's different, on December 19th, the last live stream, it was about 17. So we've come into neutrality, or what I like to call Bitcoin market meh, which we've kind of been in for years, right? Kind of for years. We're over 3 trillion crypto market cap. You know, we were there before. So this is, what's going on here? I'm not trying to make it bigger. I'm trying to, there we go. What do we got here? $500 billion into Bitcoin. People are still going into Ethereum. I find that interesting. You know, you could go into Bitcoin, but you go into Ethereum. It's right there. It's like there's Bitcoin and there's Ethereum. And I'm going to go into Ethereum. I don't fully understand it. But you missed the chord personality descriptions. G-Dog 4HK. Yeah, well, that was part of the 2022 bear market when the price wasn't moving. Got to spice up those videos because there's really nothing to talk about, right? But they were fun. They were fun. Again, there's only so many chords, right? So you kind of run the gauntlet. It's like at some point I was doing the same chord with a different personality, which they do. Right? But if we want a quick refresher, I always thought C major sevenths were feminine. Right? They have a feminine, so Benny and the Jets is the most famous major seventh chord in the world. Right? Yeah, as soon as you hear it, you know it's Benny and the Jets. Anyway, Kyle does that song. It's funny, eh? Like there's like audio. I call it an audio meme, really. Like there's certain things where you can. Holy shit, Scotty Moe, 26 months, 26 months. pianomattyb OG. Thanks for the support. New Year, same long-term bullish outlook. That's right. So. Maybe I will do some. I'm all over the place now because there's really nothing to talk about. But 2026, I had my predictions. Maybe I'll put them out there so I'm wrong, because I always want to be wrong, right? I always want to be wrong. Let's get out of here. Go back to the chart here, 4-hour chart. 2026 predictions. We will have 3 to 4 rate cuts, dumping the price. Jerome Powell will be replaced by a crypto-friendly Fed chair. Dump the price. We will enter into the summer bummer in about 3 months, May to August, dumping the price. Trump will lose the midterms, dumping the price. And right around there will be the crisis we need now. I don't know what the hell the crisis is going to be, but it'll be around end of Q3, end of Q4, some crisis. Maybe they take over Canada. I don't know. Canada is the 4th largest oil producer, right? I also said I wasn't going to be political on this anymore. I just can't help it, though. Because if you look at oil, it's all oil wars. Canada, number 4 in the world. You wouldn't think it the way everyone's so poor in Canada. You would think that we'd be like the Saudi Arabians, like everyone's a millionaire. But no, that's not how it works anyway. And then we get the crisis we need. And that engages the next leg up. So what does that mean? Does it mean... what it means is I hope I'm wrong. I hope that, it does the opposite. I hope every rate hike, bingo bango, boom banks the price up. I hope Jerome Powell's replacement, boom banks the price up. I hope when see the reason why I'm losing the midterms would induce the crisis is because we would start looking into 2028 at like maybe the other side of the bird, like there's the right side and the left side, but it's still the same bird, right? The illusion of democracy would occur, and we would say, oh, well, these people would do this or that, right? And it would actually pump the price because it's the crisis we need. And so, that being said, yeah, QT, it ended, but it ended in December, but it's not like QT ends and the world changes. It takes a long time for these things to, eke their way through the economy. But my plan for 2026 is to DCA into the crisis, right? We know there's a crisis coming. We don't know what the crisis will be. Hopefully it doesn't affect too many people in a negative way in this community. It'll affect a lot of people outside of this community in a negative way. We know that. That's for sure. But I DCA into the crisis. Not a lot. Just I will amp it up as we get into the summer bummer. So use it as a signal, right? If for instance, if we get a rate cut and the price dumps, well, look forward to more price dumps on the rate cut. Multi-seg dummy. pianomattyb channel builder Scotty Mo got me cheered to 2026 new all-time high or no? I thought that was popping up. Well, that would be the interesting part. You see, if we get a new all-time high, now people argue that the cycle's already broken. Here's some broken factors, right? Hit all-time high before the halving. Okay, that's a Terry Crow with 28 months. Perfect. We're heading back. We're building up the channel members again. Perfect. Thank you very much for the support, Terry Crow. One of the longest supporters of the piano stream for sure, Terry Crow. So when you see the e-money, there we go. We're all piling back in. 2026 is bullish. We're getting bullish here. We're getting bullish. We're building up the members again. So when we see the signal that, if it dumps the price, DCA more. So I've got my foot on the DCA pedal. So every time the price dumps, which is my base case for 2026, like I don't mean catastrophic. I don't think we're going to see a catastrophic dump. I just think we will see sideways to downward action on every potential bullish upswing. Rate cuts should be bullish, probably dump. Jerome Powell being replaced should be bullish, probably dump. But that's when I increase my DCA, right? And right now, I'm only DCAing $1 a day. It's almost inconsequential, right? But I'm not sure. I've only had Canadian exchanges. So I only know really Bull Bitcoin. So Bull Bitcoin is on the Lightning Network too, so it allows me to do the $1 a day DCA without the stupid fees, right? Maybe you can do that in your in your exchange in the States or wherever you are in the world. I'm not sure. But so that allows me this buffalo. Everyone's here. 35 months. Holy smokes. 12, 24, 36. You're almost on 3 years, buffalo. 3 years. Thank you very much for the support. Holy smokes. It's Laserface. Laserface is back. Hey. I'll throw my little 2 cents in. Thank you very much. Chadwick. I mean, your $1 eventually turned into dollars is not a waste of time. Yeah, well, it's. I agree. It's not my get rich scheme, but it is. I look at every dollar I put in there as, in just increasing the wealth in the future. $1 at a time, and you have to look at it this way. If everyone started doing this, we would make that change in the retail market, right? Because people can understand $1 a day. In fact, I made that video, $6 a day to $1 million. It was very poorly viewed. No one really cared, but it shows how $6 a day can turn into $1 million based on a high CAGR, right? Now we're in a year 2025 with 0 CAGR, right? It's a 0 CAGR 2025. But you have to remember that we have average CAGRs, right? So let's say 2026, if we were to, let's say, put in an all-time high in 2026, nothing to write home about, but like we pumped up to 130 or something. So the CAGR, where are we now? Yeah, let's just call it. What did we open? I think 87 or 88, up to 130. Where am I here? Let's go 135. That'd be a 50%er. Now you average out, it's 25, right? Still not that great. But then we enter the bull run and it pulls up that CAGR to, let's say 30, 35. And then we're into, we're back, right? We're back with a healthy CAGR. Right now, we're not in a healthy CAGR. So I'm going to keep my eye on this CAGR thing because, I made that video about we need to talk about the CAGR. Very poorly viewed. And it had some horrible math in it that no one wants to hear, but we have to talk about the CAGR. Right? If you haven't watched that video, it's in the video portion. There's live video playlist, blah, blah, blah. Wide awake ears sad. For $1 a day, you can fund your own financial wealth. You can become financially sovereign too with $1 a day. Everyone's losing money in the market. But it comes a time where you have to make the decision. Am I going to be one of those people that are losing money in the market, or am I going to give $1 a day? DCA. This is where she'd sing, ooh, you can give too. You can DCA into the crisis. It's only $1 a day. Whatever happened to Sarah McLachlan's? She's kind of like, she really took over that female portion of music for a while, and then she kind of disappeared. I guess maybe she had kids, right? I always think whenever, and this is not against women or anything, but like it's hard for me to get invested in female singers that don't have kids because I know they're going to have kids and then they're just going to disappear, which is fine. Maybe they're only going to shine so bright anyway, right? Just like any singer. Kids are drugs, Kenny says. I knew the guitar player, so that Winnipeg's weird. So there's the guitar player for Sarah McLachlan was a Winnipegger. He was in a 3-piece band in Winnipeg. He wasn't like the greatest guitar player. He's unique. He had a different sound and a different way of making melodies on the guitar, if that makes any sense. And then he ended up he went from like this kind of indie 3-piece edgy band, and then he became Sarah McLachlan's guitar player for like 15 years. Now he's in a band called White Horse. with his wife. So it's like if he asked me for advice, and it's like, I'm going to start a band with my wife, I'd be like, ooh, Anyway, he did. But the way why it's weird is that Duke's mom's sister was given up for adoption, kind of. It's murky. I don't really ask questions over there. And she was taken into a foster home, and one of her the mom who owned the foster home, real son, was the guitar player that ended up being in Sarah McLachlan. So through a couple degrees of Kevin Bacon, Duke's kind of related to him in a long about way. So that's where we stand there on the little fair thing. The one thing, last thing about music here, I saw that Rick Beato had an interesting video a couple days ago. It was about the 5 Grammy-nominated songs for 2025, and he compared it to 1984. So in 1984, the 5 songs that were Song of the Year were All Night Long, Lionel Richie, Beat It, Michael Jackson, Billie Jean, Michael Jackson. I don't know if anyone since has had 2 songs in Song of the Year, but it makes sense as Michael Jackson. Every Breath You Take and Maniac by Michael Sembello, which Kyle plays after Aha, right? He goes, just a ball town girl on a Saturday night. And so the common thread is that each one of those songs were written by one person, except for Maniac. It was written by Michael Sembello and some guy, right? So there's 2 dudes. Now he fast forwarded to 2025, and each song, this is the crazy part, most of the songs were sampled from other songs. So for instance, there's one song, I don't even know the name of the song, but it was a direct sample from Now and Then I Think of When We Were Together, the Gautier song. It took that sample, which is also a sample from another song. So Gautier sampled it from a song, and then they straight sampled the intro from the Gautier song, and just kind of is like Bitcoin going nowhere. 2026, we're about to hit that channel of resistance. Should we change? We'll go back to A minor. So this is what the song is, and all the songs were sampled from other songs. So like no one even wrote a song. But here's the worst part: all those songs had I think the least amount of writers was 7 writers, and it went as high as 11 or 12 writers. Now, to me, that's ludicrous, because I think in order to get your songwriting badge, your license, you need to be able to write a song by your goddamn self. Now, I'm a songwriting maxi. I believe that all songs should have an intro, a verse, a bridge, chorus, a middle 8, or a solo, but and then an outro. Historic. Yeah, it's me talking about songwriting's dumping the price here. Historic songwriting. I'm a songwriting maxi, and none of these do. They don't. There's 12 people that you don't even have a middle 8, because you know what a middle 8 is? It's another part of a song it's like a song within a song, right? So, for instance, been a hard day's night. I never sleeping alone. None of the things I did will make me feel hard. Middle 8. When I'm down, to be right. It's another song. When I'm good, twice, in a hard day. So it's like, to write a middle 8 is another song within a song. They can't even write a song. They're just sampling a song. So whether they would have a middle 8 in there, it's just so it's an interesting video. One of his takeaways is, and whoever wins this song, who cares? Because no one will even know in a couple of years. You won't even. I don't remember. I just saw the video like 2 days ago, and I don't even remember one artist or name of the song for the Grammy.
Make sure you like and subscribe.